the cage.
Okay, guys, I'm going to go through things step by step and in sequential order. Take notes if you have to. This will be our battle plan.
Wow, this sounds like a military operation of some kind.
It is a military operation. That's my background, right? This is what I know.
Ari, don't be a dork. We don't know who these people are. This could get serious.
Anytime you're dealing with huge sums of money, you don't know what the other people are capable of. Don't assume anything. We don't know that they wouldn't kill people to get what they want.
Okay, now you're scaring me. I'm not sure I like this.
Ari, you're the one who got us into this. You can't bow out of it. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't really realize it would get this serious.
Don't get overly concerned, as we are just making assumptions right now. But we need to proceed with caution. Like I said, make no assumptions.
Okay, so how are we going to counteract this? How do we protect ourselves?
Well, one thing is for certain. We haven't left the apartment in a few days, so they haven't had any way to plant any bugs in the apartment. Plus, being on the top floor, it would be a little tough to even put any listening devices on the windows outside. I'm not going to discount it 100%, but I think that would be nigh to impossible.
Aren't there directional listening devices that they can point from a distance and still listen to our conversations from the street?
There are parabolic and even laser microphones that can pick up conversations anywhere from 650 to 1,500 feet. But the chances of them having something like that is slim. But then you have to factor in the traffic noise and all that good stuff. Plus, the building materials here are top-notch, and the windows are very thick. I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but it would be very difficult. But I would suggest we have all of our conversations away from the windows, just in case.
The thing is, we're not even sure that we're being watched. That in itself is just an assumption, right?
But that's one assumption I'm willing to make. Right now, I plan on taking some measures to try to determine that fact.
How are you going to do that?
I still have a lot of equipment that I used when I was in special ops. The military many times sells equipment they're replacing at an extreme discount. So when they had it for sale, I couldn't help myself.
So what kind of equipment?
That's something I don't really want to share, other than a few things. I have some very nice cameras that are equipped with night vision. I'm going to set them up to a monitor that will video everything. I have 8 cameras that I'll set up from various angles. I'm going to do it at night. They might have night vision as well, but that's a chance I'm going to take.
So, where are you going to set up the cameras?
Outside. I have some gear that will help with that.
Are you sure about that? That sounds pretty damn dangerous.
It would be if you didn't know what you were doing. But for me, it's a walk in the park. I've set up equipment in areas many times more dangerous than outside our apartment. Don't worry about it.
It still makes me really nervous.
I'm not nervous at all. For me, it's fun.
Dude, I swear you're nuts.
That's because you don't understand how good I am at this crap. Now, if it was you doing it, then we'd all be nervous. In fact, you'd never make it to the first camera.
I ain't dumb enough to even try.
Good. Now, after I get the cameras set up, I want us to take turns monitoring what's going on outside. We'll be looking at video footage that was taken at different times during the day. What we'll be monitoring is this: suspicious vehicles parked for long periods, people loitering or repeatedly passing by, unusual activity or patterns of movement.
So what would constitute unusual activity or patterns of movement? We need what to be watching for.
Okay, this could be a very long dissertation, but let me give you a rundown on what we're going to be looking for. We're looking for repeated appearances, individuals or vehicles passing by here multiple times without apparent reason. We're looking for stationary observers, people loitering in one spot for extended periods, especially if they appear to be watching the apartment. You can zoom in even on video to get a closer look to see where they're looking.
Well, this area being downtown, there's going to be a lot of people hanging around. That might be hard to spot.
But this area is mostly apartment buildings. If there is the same individual hanging around outside, that's going to be a bit unusual. At any rate, we need to watch for that. We also need to watch not just for an individual, but possibly multiple individuals with coordinated movements, or multiple vehicles moving in sync or appearing to communicate with each other. Also, if we notice things like that, we need to keep a record and make a note of the time to see if things are done at the same time every day. If we could establish a distinct pattern, that would be great.
It would make it much easier if we weren't living downtown in a big city with so many people moving around.
True, but unfortunately that's not the case, so it is what it is.
Also, as dumb as it may sound, be watching for people carrying or using items that could be surveillance gear, like cameras with long lenses, binoculars. Of course, they're probably not going to be carrying some things out in the open, but the items will be in some kind of container or bag that is unusual to see people carrying around here.
I could see someone carrying around a camera and tripod, though. They'd just come across as a photographer.
I'm not sure, though, that they'd be that bold. But maybe. Also be watching for irregular behavior. Actions that don't fit the normal patterns of the neighborhood or time of day. Also be aware of strategic positioning. Individuals placed at key vantage points or near entry or exit routes. We don't plan on leaving the apartment unless we have to, but they don't know that.
The problem with living in a place like this is that we really don't know many neighbors. We've met a few people, but we really don't know who belongs around here and who doesn't. I know all of the doormen, but other than that, nobody really.
I would think that if a person is from around here, they're not going to be standing outside for long periods of time. They're going to be going to their apartment. If I see someone standing outside for a long period of time without going inside, that's an immediate red flag to me.
As a general rule, people who live around here aren't going to be outside on the street, period. Unless they happen to be talking to a friend. There really aren't any businesses in the immediate area, so that makes it a little harder to remain inconspicuous.
This is all kind of scary, but also kind of exciting. I feel like I'm an actual spy.
You'll get your first dose of espionage. Oh yeah, another thing. If we're able to identify the people who are watching us, we want to let them know we see them. We want to make it obvious. Then I want to observe their reaction once they know they've been spotted.
What if they decide to take us out once they know we're onto them? We don't know that they wouldn't turn hostile.
Oh, I got a little something for them in that instance. Regardless of what they might have, they don't have what I have.
And what do you have?
Something they ain't gonna like a whole lot. It's on a need-to-know basis, and right now there's no need for you guys to know.
Okay, now you have me really worried. This sounds like it's getting a little too deep for me.
That's why Max was in special ops and you weren't. It takes a special person to do that job.
Yeah, a Looney Tune. Sorry, Max, but you have to be a little crazy to be in units like that.
You have to have a certain mindset, definitely. I guess I have that adventure gene you hear about. To me, this kind of stuff gets me fired up.
Right now, I really wish I had the powers I had in Star Guardians and could form a force field around the apartment.
No worries, Luna. I'll be able to do that.
How are you going to do that?
Like I said, it's on a need-to-know basis. If the need arises, you'll see.
Max, I'm seeing a side of you I never knew existed. You've always been so quiet and reserved. I had no idea you were such a wild man.
The last thing I want to be is a wild man. It's anything but that. I'm not wild. I'm calculated and detailed all the way. You never do anything haphazardly.
And you special ops people have no sense of humor. That was a joke.
It's hard for me to think that abstractly when I get into this mode. I'm taking this whole thing very seriously, so that's my mindset.
I'll be honest. This side of you is scaring the shit out of me. I have no idea what to expect.
Ari, I'm the same guy you've known for a few years. My goal is to keep us all protected. That's what I plan to do. You guys are my friends. I don't want to take the slightest chance of anything happening to any of you.
Wow. That's probably the most sentimental thing I've ever heard you say.
What you talking about, Willis? That's the only sentimental thing we've ever heard him say.
I have to agree with Tara on one thing. This is scary, but also a little exciting. But exciting for me is discovering some new computer program I hadn't seen before.
Okay, guys. It's almost dark. I'm going to go get my gear ready so I can set up the cameras.
I'll be glad when that's over and done with. I'm gonna be nervous as a cat the whole time you're out there.
Like I said, I'm not nervous. So you shouldn't be either.
Yeah, but just the thought of you out there trying to play Spider-Man gives me the willies.
It gives me the EBGBs.
It makes me have the hives. I'm already itching.
Just don't be scratching your balls in front of us. That would be gross.
You don't get hives on your balls, Tara.
Oh. Okay. Well, don't be scratching them anyway.
Like I was planning to.
I might scratch mine, but I'll do it outside. Fair enough?
Max, go get your gear. Ari, go to your room if you're going to scratch.
All right, guys. Operation Kick-Ass is commencing.